and welcome along to the Invincible podcast with my man, Lee Judges in the building. Lee, what's that? What's
Hospitality, I quite like that.
Lee Hospitality
but
Judges.
I'm getting the one called Free Hit Judges now, like, you know what I mean?
Hey, you know what?
We're
We're gonna touch on that because you've been getting stick
I've been getting
all
stick.
week long
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
You know what? Not even gonna. I was gonna do the scores from last week, but you know we'll go to that later on.
Yeah,
right.
right.
I'm gonna jump straight into that because obviously we've got to talk about the game. Liverpool 4, Arsenal 0, another beatdown. But according to somebody after the game, it's all right because it was only a free hit. Don't worry, lads. We've just been beaten, humiliated again at Liverpool, but don't worry about it. It was a free hit anyway. I mean, who are we? Are we Norwich now? Was it Burnley? You know what I mean? Because that's how you hear fans talk when their team's about to get relegated or in relegation trouble or something. Oh, you know what? I know we've got Chelsea this week, but it's a free hit because no one's expecting us to win it anyways. We're Arsenal, man. We're the Arsenal Football Club. We shouldn't be describing games as a free hit.
No.
And I can see why. I
can totally agree with you, like, you know.
No, but you said it.
Yeah,
do you mean you can totally agree with me? And I can see why fans have been giving you a load of stick over it because to me, that wasn't... Don't get me wrong. I'm going to say it right now. I didn't expect us to win. I was going for a draw in my predictions, which normally means that I'm very, very worried about the game. I didn't think we'd win at Anfield. I knew it was going to be a tall order. I don't think it was necessarily a 4-0. I don't think it wasn't a battering like we've in the same manner as we've had in previous years. At least we put up a fight. In the end, we just fell apart in the second half. But it ain't a free hit, Lee. We've already lost 3 games at the start of this season. We lost those 3 games. We got off to a terrible start. We ain't got no free hits no more, right? Our games are, we need to get results. And I was kind of shocked as well to hear you describing it as a free hit. How's that a free hit?
Well, this is how I see it, and I do. We are not the team that we were.
Then we're not Norwich.
We're not Norwich.
And we're not Burnley, and we're not these teams down at the bottom.
That. But what my point of it being was that we went into that game as in 5th place, right? 3 points off of West Ham. That's the competition that we've got. People keep saying to me, we're not competing with Chelsea. This is what everybody's saying. We're not competing with Manchester and Liverpool. They're far too much superior than us. But we are competing with the best of the rest. Going into that game, we was 3 points off of West Ham. So whatever happened, we was going to be 3 points off top 4. That was my point of it, like, you know. And also, and I think it's a big thing, coming away from that, we're still 3 points off of top 4, which is where we're looking to get this season. And we've gone to Manchester City and we've gone to Liverpool. 2 of those 3, and we've also played Chelsea, by the way, but that's at home. So from that point of view, it was, you know, like, go there, see what we can do. If we get anything from it, it's a bonus. But ultimately, I didn't think we was going to win the game. And I don't think, when I say as a free hit also, I think it's a free hit for Mikel, where I don't think you should be judging him on that game. You know, judge him now coming up against Newcastle, because that's certainly not free hit.
So that's our level, Newcastle.
No, Manchester United.
Why can't you judge him off of that game?
Because everybody is saying Liverpool are on a different planet to where we are at this moment.
Yeah, but you can still judge it. You can still start to
I think there is. And I think there was some things that you can say to him that I would look and say to him, right, some things I thought were good in that. And things that weren't. One of the things that was good about him, really frustrates me, the Arsenal fans at the moment. Getting to me, they are. They're getting to me, Robbie. They're getting to me.
They're on you.
They're on me.
They're on you, mate.
When they turn around and say, well, if it wasn't for Ramsdale, it would have been 5, 6 or 7. So what's he there for then? Is he there not to stop shots? Is he not there to make saves?
No, yeah, you're right there.
So like, why? So
true, you can say that in every game.
So why are they beating a stick?
That's why you go and get a top goalkeeper, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why you get. That's right. And of course, Allegri's got to be sacked now, isn't he? Because he's no good. You know what I mean? He's gone to Chelsea this week with the mighty Juventus, and lost 4-0 as well. So, you know, I think you've got to realise and put it into perspective where these teams are. We were just talking about earlier on. All 4 teams in Europe have won their groups, topped their groups. They are a class above. But ultimately, I look at it and I think, right, okay, it's not the end of the world. Say like a free hit. It's not the end of the world we lost to Liverpool, because at the end of in the context of
maybe you should have said it that way.
Yeah, I probably should have said it. Instead of a free hit, I probably should have turned around and said it's not the end of the world because we've lost to Liverpool, we've been there, and we're still 3 points off of where we want to be.
But then you could argue and say that, you know, had we have got a more positive result, even a draw, the confidence that would have given this team going forward.
I get that.
You know, the thing that upset me about the game was I thought in the first half, I was quite pleased with how Arsenal played, even though we were up against it. You know, Ramsdale made some good saves, and we were up against it for most of the half. But for the majority of that half, I thought Arsenal were very disciplined, had a very good shape. And that's what you got to do away from home at Liverpool.
100%.
And what annoyed me was when we conceded that goal, because I'm just like, it's about staying in the game. And I think when I look at all the goals we conceded in that game, I put it down to a lot of inexperience. And this is maybe where we went out and we bought all these players, and they're all young, and you know, maybe they'll go to Anfield next year and they won't make the same mistakes. But for the first goal, I'm looking at Tomiyasu and I'm like, it looked like the other players were sort of playing offside, and you've not really switched on to that offside. I think if he would have been held his shape a bit more, I think Mane would have been offside. But he kind of played him on. And then the other guy, you know, in the second half, Sambi Lokonga kept giving the ball away in the middle of the park. Nuno Tavares kept giving the ball away. And the inexperience showed. Yeah. And the thing is about it, Nuno Tavares was defending very well against Salah. But then the way he was just like, you know, and we've seen that in a few games of him, he's raw, isn't he? He's raw. He's a raw talent. And when you go to Anfield, sometimes that's where you need them sort of wily old characters who've been there, done that. Maybe a Xhaka in midfield might have, I don't know, I say Xhaka, but he's been there for most of the other beatdowns. He was there against City, he got himself sent off. So no, maybe not even Xhaka. But you know, sometimes that's where you just need an experienced player that's just going to settle things down a bit, hold on to the ball, say to the players, you know, we're under a lot of pressure right now, but let's weather this, let's stay in the game. And then you never know. You never know what can happen. That's what Brighton did. They were 2-0 down, they stayed in the game, and then they were able to come back towards the end. That's what Burnley did against Chelsea. They stayed in the game, you know, but we didn't stay in the game. We kind of just fell apart in that second half. And, and Mikel Arteta, he's got to get questioned for... I'm not going to go too hard on him. No. He's got to get questioned because he played... It's his decision to play Nuno Tavares instead of Tierney. And like, you know, for instance, when we were doing the stream in the studio... Chris Hudson said right from the game started, before the game started, he said I'd start Tierney because it's Anfield. And he's been there and he's done it, and he thinks that's why he should start him. So you've got to question the manager because kind of the selection, he kind of got it wrong in that aspect, didn't he?
He did get it wrong because, you know, but hindsight's a wonderful thing.
It is a wonderful thing.
I wouldn't have played Tierney.
But you get judged off of these things.
Of course you do. I wouldn't have played Tierney, and you know, that's a good debate, and you know, from Chris, but for me, Tierney hasn't been playing well before he got injured. If he was playing well before he got injured, I would have probably gone for him, but he wasn't. And as you said, Tavares, I didn't think done anything wrong in the first half. It was only like that mistake in the second. He defended Salah very, very well. I didn't think he was in the game that much, you know. So I look from that there. Yes, you can criticise it. I think that if you want to look at it and look at Mikel Arteta and criticism, I think the substitutions were the same as before. There wasn't no inventing this as an attacking sort of side. But people are quick to hammer him, quick to get on there and have a go at him, and they haven't done in the last sort of...
I feel it's unfair to...
Yeah, so they've been desperate.
Yeah, I agree with you, right? I wouldn't use the word free hit because I don't think we've got free hits left at Arsenal because of the poor start of the season. But where I would agree with you is that Liverpool, Manchester City, Chelsea, those three teams, one of them three teams are going to win the league. Those three teams are way above Arsenal Football Club at this moment in time. You have to have a certain amount of honesty to yourself. Exactly. You know what I mean? We know we're Arsenal. We know that we want to get back to the greatness, but we have to look at where we are, right? We have to look at the type of players we've got. It's a building process with these players. we are not in the same league as those three teams, right? I feel, though, that Arsenal this season do have a chance, because I look at it and say, it's those three, then the best of the rest.
100%.
And one of the best of the rest is going to get that 4th place. Now, that could be West Ham. That could be Arsenal. That could be Manchester United. That could be Wolves.
Tottenham.
That could be Tottenham. And that could be probably Leicester. One of them 6 clubs, the best of the rest, right, is going to get that 4th spot. And we're in it. If we're in 5th place right now, like Lee says, we are in that conversation right now, right? So what we got to do now is, when it comes to the game this weekend against Newcastle, and I note that Mikel Arteta even said it in his press conference, we have to win that game.
100%.
That game is a game that we must win, because luckily for us, this is when, again, I think where people are a bit annoyed with you with your free hit talk, yeah? We're a bit lucky the way results turned out for us at the weekend, because Man United, that was a shock that they got beaten by Watford. And it's a little bit of a shock with West Ham, the way they've been playing, that they lost to Wolves. So results kind of worked out for us, but we've got to win this weekend. We must beat Newcastle. We've got a couple of difficult games coming up after that.
100%.
We've got to go away to Manchester United and away to Everton, back-to-back away games, right? And even though United are in the mud at the moment, you know, they won the other night. They've got quality players. The other night in that game against Villarreal, they were poor in that first half. I did a watch-along over on the Don Robbie channel. They were poor in the first half, and they were poor for most of the second half as well, until a mistake's made. One mistake, Ronaldo, bang. And that's the thing. That's just going back to the Arsenal-Liverpool game. You could possibly make a mistake that Nuno Tavares made against Liverpool, and maybe do that this week, Saturday, against Newcastle, and it falls to Joe Linton and he puts it wide. Yeah? And then you go down the other end and you score. When you're playing against them elite teams like Liverpool, you make them mistakes, mate. It's Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
For Jota, Mane, all these guys. They just say, thank you, Merry Christmas, happy birthday. You know, it's gifts.
What frustrates me about our fans at the moment is that, as I said, they quickly want to get onto about the performance, everything like that. I think the performance on Saturday, you have to get to 20 minutes, 40 minutes, 60 minutes, and if you're still 0-0 at that stage, things can change. But because we conceded two silly goals, I think the first goal, poor defending, and the second one, we was up under the pump, and rightly so. For me now, this is where Mikel, I think I will be really looking at him in the next 3 games, because we've got to go and beat Newcastle by hook or by crook. We must win that, because if we do win that, it sets us up. Manchester City, West Ham go to Manchester City, Manchester United go to Chelsea. Now, if form and results go as the way they should, we should be then 6 points. 6 points in front of Man United going to them at Old Trafford. Do you imagine if we then go there and beat them? 9 points going into the... we'll be in front of them. So it's a massive, massive week now for Arsenal, and it starts against Newcastle. That's when I'm sort of saying, that in the context of where we want to be and where we want to go, these next 3 games are much, much more important than that Liverpool game. What was the disappointing thing for the Liverpool game was that we didn't come out of there with a gracious defeat. But whether you got a gracious defeat or you get beat 4-0, it's still a defeat. So people are saying to me, "Oh yeah, but I would have accepted a 2-0 defeat." Or
yeah, but that's the same as saying it's a free hit.
Exactly.
So if you're accepting defeat,
they're saying
someone's going to say, we're Arsenal. How are you going to say you accept defeat?
And I think
actually, I'm starting to sympathise with you a little bit.
And I'm sitting there like, do I like going to Anfield thinking we ain't going to win a game? Do I like going to the fact that I'm accepting a defeat at Liverpool? No, I don't, Robbie. I don't like it. But I do accept that's where we are at this moment in time. Yeah. But I tell you what, next season, when we go to Anfield, I won't be accepting it. That is not going to be like it was this time, because we're a year on. This. There's got to be accountability somewhere along the line. But I'm a realist. This moment in time, we cannot beat... I don't think those teams at the moment. We've gone to Man City and we've got pumped 5. We've gone to Liverpool now have been pumped. We've got Chelsea rolled over us at home, like, you know. But then I look at it in Europe, you know, like, what did Juventus do yesterday? They was pumped by Chelsea. Like PSG with all those superstars couldn't beat Manchester City. These three clubs that we're talking about at the moment. Liverpool, by the way, have got in their group Porto, Atletico Madrid, and they've just steamrolled that group.
Yeah.
Just steamrolled that group in Europe. So these three teams are not only elite in this league.
Chelsea have steamrolled Juventus.
Yeah.
They steamrolled, was it AC Milan? But it's just...
they're elite. They're elite in Europe as well. So we've got to understand where we are at this moment in time. And I love it. I love it. The fact that pump up your chest, we're the Arsenal and all that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, but ultimately, even like the biggest fans in the world, like, put your mortgage on Arsenal beating Liverpool. I wouldn't do that when we was at our best, let alone when we're not where we are now. You know, I've never gone to Anfield thinking that we're going to win.
It's always
games.
a tough place to go.
It's a tough place to
go.
go.
Even when they weren't playing great. Especially when it's a night game and that. Did Arteta make a big error in... because you know what? The game was kind of on an even sort of playing field, and then he had that little incident, you know...
I loved it.
Where he was right up in the face of Klopp and...
Love it.
You know, it looked like he wanted to fight him and all them things. Both of them got yellow cards and that. And then after that, it lifted the whole of Anfield. It lifted all their players. Was it a mistake?
No, listen. When people said that was you know, the changing point of the game.
He got him angry, didn't he?
The changing point of the game was the goal. You know what I mean? Like when we conceded the goal, you know, Gabriel should have been picking up Mane. He left him, like, you know, and Aubameyang stupidly give away the free kick. That ain't nothing to do with that fracas and all that. Like, listen, I'm going to say this now.
Look at Mane after that, the way he was...
Yeah, well, listen, Mane's got history against Arsenal, and it's not the first time that he's got away with it. So I like that from our manager. You know what I mean? Like last season, you know, he should have been sent off against Tierney. I don't care what anybody says when he's elbowed him. You know what I mean? Like, and I like that. Mikel saying he's done it again. He's done it again, and and he's got away with
but
it.
Is it like, it's a bit like cricket sometimes, isn't it? I know you're a big cricket fan, right? And I've sledging in cricket where you got some bowlers and they'll have a go at certain players and they'll really slag them off and all that, just to wind them up because they know it'll put them off their game. And I've heard some bowlers say that there were certain players, like they say Brian Lara, when Brian Lara used to play, there's a lot of bowlers who said they never sledged him.
No, don't upset
because if you sledged him, you got him angry, right? And then he makes him play even better, right? You got certain people like if you're in a boxing fight, right? Back in the day, and you're fighting Mike Tyson, you don't in your press conferences start winding him up and calling him names and this and that because you know then he's going to come out angry in the fight and he'll probably try and knock you out in the first round and batter you, right? So should he have maybe just have looked on it and said, you know, it's Anfield, it's under the lights.
And roll over.
Not roll over, but just sort of said something and then just left it.
I honestly think, I don't think Mikel done anything wrong. But what I do think is that Klopp used it as his...
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. He used it, and then after that, you see him every minute he's in the crowd.
Yeah, he's going like that,
so Klopp lifted them. It did lift them.
Klopp's very, very clever like that. But what
so Klopp sort of got one over him in a way because he used that. He did it deliberately. That's what I'm saying. Is that where maybe he should have just not said nothing, just sort of looked at him and said, I think piss off, you idiot," like that.
I honestly think, like, in the context of this game, maybe. But for the bigger picture, I think Mikel done the right thing because it tells you that, you know, we're not going to be bullied no more. We're not having this little sneaky little elbows being put on us or late tackles put on us. We're going to highlight it and make sure that it's done properly. Like, we're not going to roll over on the floor like certain people, but we're going to we're not going to let. And I like that. I like it that the fact that Mane for the second time in you know, it's good. I'll tell you what, when he comes to the Emirates, will he do it then?
Oh, I like you liked it. He scored
again. Well, yeah, he did score. That's the super
again.
But when he goes to the Emirates and he starts doing it, we'll remember it, won't we? And 60,000 fans and Klopp, you can get on it then. when you've got 60,000 fans going to chew. So don't, you know what I mean? Like there's times and places like we've gone into his backyard and give it. When he comes down there, let's see if Marnie does all those little tricks.
Sounds like you're sending a threat there.
Yeah, right. I know. I like it. I like as a player. If I was a player, then I see my manager going toe to toe, protecting whatever. I'm gonna go. Yeah, do you know what? That's for me. I'll have some of that. You know what I mean? Like I'm fed up with. I'm fed up with us being bullied by teams, by being kicked off the park and things like that. Now, listen, I'm not saying there was anything wrong that cost us the game there, but Mane maybe should have been booked for that one.
He should have been booked before he got booked.
Yeah, and then he booked, so he's sent off, and it's a different game. So I like what Mikel done, and I'm sorry, like it got them going and all that, but at that moment in time, I have to say, I've been going to Anfield for a very, very long time. That was the quietest Anfield was for considering that they hadn't been in the fans and not in there. We done what we had to do at the first part of that, was to silence that crowd. We'd done that.
Then Mikel Arteta went and wound them all up again and raised it all up.
He done that. But
so that's what I'm saying. Is that a mistake? When you look at it now, you just say to yourself, you got to know your opponent, innit? That's what I said. There's some people you wind them up off their game, and then there's other people you get them angry. And Klopp's that type of guy, and Liverpool's that type of. We all know that Liverpool are a football club that play a lot off of it, especially when they're at Anfield. They're very emotional, and they're described as that as a lot of times. A very emotional football club. So wanted to keep it as quiet as we can.
Yeah, but you keep it quiet by defending properly and not giving away silly free kicks. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's again, this is what amazes me about our fan base at the minute. They're quickly.
You've got to use this, mate.
They quickly blame Arteta for everything.
You don't go into a cauldron.
But they won't blame the players. You know what I mean? Like certain players let him down and let the performance, but they'd rather go on about a touchline fracas with an. I'm going to say this now, an elite manager, and he is.
It was a turning point, though.
The turning point was the goal, Robbie. Come on.
Yeah, but it was a turning point in the game.
If you want to
look
at
0-0 at that time, isn't it?
Yeah, it was still. I think it happened about 10 minutes before they scored. They didn't score straight after. It was like that. There was that incident, and then they went straight. Oh, the crowd got up and they scored straight away. It was about 10 minutes after that. But listen, there is going to be stages where they're going to be on top because they're Liverpool and they're at home. I just think, look, I'd rather see that happen. And then in 2 weeks' time, a bad tackle happen, and we lose a player for a long time. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and I do what I like about Arsenal, whether you like it or whether you don't. As soon as those fouls are going in, there's 3 or 4 Arsenal players now in the ref's ear. Years ago, Robbie, we just accepted that. So I'm quite liking that side. If you want to criticise Mikel, criticise him for substitutions. The way when we went 1-0 down, there wasn't really a game plan to get us back into the game.
Who would you have brought on?
In that game, look, listen, I look at it now, and again watching it back, I thought Saka was poor, and I'm not saying it was down to him because we didn't have a platform. You're asking Saka and Smith Rowe really to be running around, getting back into blocks, chasing, really not their strengths of their game. So I would have looked at it and gone, 2 things that I would have criticised Mikel for was his substitutions, and he continued to go with the press. They're very, very good at it. Change it, and I don't think that he did. And accidents were there to happen. So I would have brought on Pepe or Martinelli, and
Pepe.
just. Well,
in a game, in a game 2-0 down at Anfield.
No, do you know what I would have done? I would have liked to have seen something different. At the end of the day, Aubameyang can't hold the ball, so try someone different up there. You know what I mean? Like, it was an opportunity to try someone like Pepe, see what he can do against the best, to see if that could work. I thought Martinelli maybe could have come on and run the channels. I don't really see the substitution. I thought Lacazette was okay in that game, and he brings him off for Uruguay. Everybody's calling it in there. You watch him do that. Nothing different. That's what I would criticise Mikel for. And I think he's got a massive decision now what he does for the Newcastle.
Well, listen, this ain't a free hit.
No, 100%.
This ain't a free hit, mate. We need to win that game. We need to get 3 points. Would you make any changes for that game?
Not so many, because this is I was talking about this on the Forever Arsenal podcast. This game is more for Aubameyang than Thursday, so I would play Aubameyang in this game, because we need goals.
That man's got a very, very good goal scoring record against Newcastle.
So I'd go with
as
that.
well.
But I wouldn't.
Very good.
If Aubameyang, I'm going to say this now. If Aubameyang scores a hat trick, right, on Saturday, which I hope he does, I still wouldn't play him on Thursday against Man United.
Ooh, wouldn't you? Why?
Because it's a different game.
So who would you play? All right, so
with someone that's going to hold the ball up.
All right, let's first of all ask. So on Saturday against Newcastle, don't have to name out all your team, but what changes would you make?
I would keep the same midfield. I'd say to Sammy, you know, learn from that. But because he's more of a player that we haven't got no one to come in at that moment in time.
But you could bring Ainsley in.
You could bring Ainsley in, but you know, I would still. I still think he's a good player, and I think he, you know, needs time to develop. Tavares, I would bring back Tierney now because he's more of Tierney is the number one left back, and I would keep the front three as the same.
Okay, and then United.
I would look at it as I say. You know, straight away you're probably thinking, right, well, I'm going to go with Lacazette. I want someone when that ball goes up. And this is the problem. When that ball goes up, and I'm not blaming Saka or Smith Rowe.
Lacazette was playing against Liverpool.
Huh?
He was playing against Liverpool, Lacazette.
Yeah, but he wasn't in that hole as the main striker. So when the ball's going up, Aubameyang, once you got it under control, then they move. What you want is when that ball's in the air, that's when you've got to get up and then you've got to have I don't think they've got the confidence that Aubameyang's going to hold on to the ball. So we need someone that's going to stick every single time. So that's why I would have probably said, well, let's have a look at what Pepe can do against them for 20-25 minutes. But I would go Lacazette in that game and bring in Odegaard as the midfield player. And I'll put Aubameyang, if you want, as one of the wide players, but my main striker, so we got to hold the ball, give us a platform so we can get up the field and start to hurt them in areas, which we couldn't do against Liverpool because we just could not hold the ball up.
Chris Sutton was saying on the stream again. A lot of times he's going that we need to go in January.
We need
find a striker that holds the ball up. We've been linked with Dusan Vlahovic, but that's looking very unlikely that's going to happen. Arsenal have made inquiries about him, and he's a top player, but I don't think that's going to happen in January. But we do need. That is a problem with Arsenal sometimes. When we go away from home, we don't keep the ball doesn't stick up front, does it? It doesn't.
No.
It's either that, or we just need to find another way of playing then that doesn't involve that.
Yeah,
because you know, and I guess that's why we were trying to do the press and that, trying to play out from the back constantly and stuff like that. Because you know, there's no point in playing the ball up like that because it just doesn't stick.
Exactly, but when you're playing against a good team, Robbie, that they're going to pin you in there. The one thing that you need is someone whether it's pretty or not, you need someone that's going to put a long ball in there, it's going to be held, and then you can just Saka, for instance, or Smith Rowe can run off the back of their player, and you just lay it in, and you've got. It's
a shame that those two in particular, I felt had
they're isolated,
very quiet games.
Yeah, because the actual.
We had no midfield. The midfield didn't give them nothing.
No,
let's be real. The midfield didn't. I think there was one pass that was played in for Aubameyang, where he got a shot off.
It was a good ball from Lacazette.
Apart from that, there was nothing.
And that's something
we had no creativity from the midfield, and that's another thing.
That is something we've got to look at. It's something we've got to, particularly.
I think that's why he bought Odegaard on, because he was looking at it and saying, I need to get something more going on in the midfield.
Yeah, but you still need that platform up. You still need. I know.
So you maybe bought off Aubameyang and left Lacazette on, or is it a stamina thing? Is it a stamina thing with Lacazette?
Maybe it is. I don't know. Well, if it is, then there's no good to you, is it? You can't have players playing 60 minutes and then that's the end of it. You've got to have someone that's playing. It's a 90-minute game. So I think that we need to look at that area. I don't know how anybody feels about it from that point. But I look at it and I thought Lacazette done okay on Saturday, but he come round and walked past all the fans. You could see he was discontented about what's going on. Like, why is it him? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
to me, the only thing that I could think of why he was the one that got pulled, it has to be stamina. Because to me, for somebody needed to come off, because I felt that we are losing the midfield. We've got nothing in midfield, right? So we needed another midfield player in there. But maybe it should have been Aubameyang who came off and left on Lacazette. I don't know. But then you haven't
got.
People say, then you've taken your main goal scorer off,
and then you haven't got that run
Yeah.
Behind, like Lacazette hasn't got the pace of, say, an Aubameyang. That's why we need to bring in someone that can hold the ball up and has got pace to go in behind.
Yeah. That's going to be the big task for Arsenal. I think not necessarily in January, this summer.
100%.
We need a striker that can hold the ball up, that can do all those things that you're saying, especially away from home. We really do lack that.
We also need a midfield player that's going to get the ball and drive past players. We haven't got that.
Partey, that's supposed to be Partey.
Well, he wasn't fit for that game. You know what I mean? But we need someone else. You can't just have one. Can't keep trying to pass. Sometimes you need someone to beat a press. You can go past someone.
Mind you, to be fair, so can Ainsley could do that.
Yeah.
He
was a little bit arsed to be left out. If you look on it, because
I don't know. I think for this weekend, me personally, I'm looking at it. I might make. Maybe Sambi, I'll take him out. If Partey's fit, have Partey and maybe Ainsley. I'd like to see that partnership to see how that gets on. I would bring him back Tierney, like you said, and then I would probably keep it the same. I don't know how we're going to... This is I saw you guys talking about it the other day with Pepe. It's the Pepe conundrum right now. Where does he play? Does he start games? It's very difficult.
It is a difficult one with Pepe.
It is with him. You don't know what you're going to get.
No, it deserves... I think at the moment the way Arsenal play probably deserves not to be in the team. But he will be sitting there on coming home on the coach thinking, right, I've had a couple of bad games and I've been dropped.
And he's a goal threat.
Aubameyang, for instance, had a couple of games now and has been poor.
Yeah.
He has been poor. So if I was Pepe now, I'd be thinking, well, hold on a minute, And if I was Pepe, what I'd be worried about is that I look at it around the other team. Where can I... he's desperately trying to get Odegaard into the team, which I understand. Or he's saying, right, well, all right, I can't get Saka on the left-hand side. I can get him on the right. I can do trying to get people into play. Like even with Aubameyang.
Having said that, though, I think Saka actually plays better on the right.
Yeah. But I'm just saying what he's trying to do is making sure that they get positions. With Pepe, he isn't. For me, he's a £70 million player. I would be saying, right, if this. Try him up front. Let's see what he can do. Yeah. Give him an opportunity.
He could get a shout for this weekend. It wouldn't surprise me if I see him start.
No, but if he does, he's got to deliver because
he's got to deliver. And then Newcastle, they're a funny team. You look up front, they're an exciting team. They've got some exciting players. In St. Maximan,
Joe Linton's even been playing really well.
Joe Linton's can be a handful. May not be the most clinical, but he can be a handful. And then, of course, they've got what's his name? He used to play for Bournemouth.
Yeah, forward.
Oh gosh, what's slipped your mind as well?
Slipped my mind as well.
You got him up front,
yeah.
right?
Scores all their goals,
right?
You know
they've got players that can score goals, but where we got to really capitalise is going at their defence. Their defence has been weak. Right, and we've got to exploit that, and we've got to win that game. That is a must-win game.
I don't think it'd be an easy game either. I think it'd be a real tough, tough game.
They ain't won a game this season.
No,
they haven't won a game, Newcastle, and they're in relegation trouble. And we got.
If we win that 3-0, everybody will be getting around going, well, it's expected. If we win it 1-0, there'd be criticism. So this is a difficult game. I don't care. It's just as long as we win this game. These 3 next games, for me, Mikel Arteta, judge him. If you want to be that, let's judge him on these next 3 games. I really do think that, because they're all difficult games in different ways. But ultimately, he needs to come out of these 3 games with minimum 7 points.
Ooh.
Minimum.
No losses.
No losses.
So, where's your 7? It's 3, obviously 3
at
Saturday.
Newcastle, 1 at Man United, but I'm looking us to win that game, by the way. That's the worst
only
scenario.
1 there. It's a 3. Huh?
No. We're not playing cricket no more. We're not that. There's no such thing as a free hit. I want to go to Man United. I really want to.
We had a good record there past couple of seasons, but I do get you a draw. Listen, we've got to remember, even though Manchester United
they've got players that can hurt us.
In trouble at the moment,
and
they have got quality. If they had a proper manager in, I'd be saying that's another one of them games you're worried about.
Yeah.
Because look at the players they've got, Ronaldo and all the. I've named out a load of them at the start. So,
listen, I'll take a point there, but I'm looking actually going to that game thinking that we've got a chance of winning it, and hopefully we can do. Because I think if we win that game, we as I said earlier on, we possibly could be 9 points in front of them, and then we've got to go to Everton, a weak Everton team at this moment with injuries and all that, and set a marker there as well. I do expect us to get 7 points from these 3 games, because if you are looking and being serious for top 4, you get minimum of 7 points from them games.
And then after that, Southampton at home on the 11th of December. This is the games up till Christmas, yeah?
West Ham.
Then 15th of December, West Ham, but at home. Then Leeds away, and Leeds ain't exactly been... I sort of had that down as a really tough game, but the way they've been playing recently, that's another team that people ain't talking about it, but they're in relegation trouble. Yeah. Right? And then, all right, I'll go to Boxing Day. Boxing Day is Norwich away.
Wolves at home, Man City.
Wolves at home, Man City. There's winnable games in there. There's.
Listen, Jordan said it, yesterday. What Mikel needs to do now...
Have a good December. That top fours are definitely on, man.
Go on now and get another 10 unbeaten games in that run, and then you look at it and go 1 defeat in 20. That's the sort of thing that you want. That is a sort of form now that gets you going towards the top 4. And then you can look at it back in 6 months' time and go, do you know what? Lee was right about that Liverpool game.
No, he won't go back and say you're right. No, don't try and get out of it like that.
And apologies will be accepted.
Yeah, no, mate, don't bother coming with that. Ain't nobody gonna be saying you're right about that game, right? Anyway, you know what? I'm gonna get into the predictions.
Who won this week, like? Should we have a little totty up on who won again? Did I still let it slip out by saying again? Sorry about that.
I think they could tell by your tone. Right, the games last week we did was Liverpool-Arsenal. You said 2-1, I said 2-2. You actually got 1 point for that because you said 2-1 to Liverpool.
Liverpool, yeah, I did.
So you got a point for that. Leicester versus Chelsea. You said 1-0 Chelsea. I said 2-1 to Chelsea. I think it's 4-0. So we both got a point for just getting the outcome right. Spurs versus Leeds. You went for a draw, 2-2. I went for a 3-1 win to Leeds. It was actually...
Tottenham.
To Tottenham, sorry. It was actually 2-1 to Tottenham. So I got a point for that. You got none. And then we both got no points for the Watford-Man United game. Because you said United 2-0. I said 3-1 United. It was actually 4-1 to Watford, which was the big shock of the coupon.
So level on points.
We were level on points, but then we had
there's a little bonus, wasn't there? There's a little bonus one, wasn't there?
We had a little bonus thing that I forgot about, is that who'd score. You went with Salah.
Yeah.
Judas.
Jerry,
Absolute Judas, man. Went with Salah. I went with Lacazette. Salah, of course, scored. So you got that little bonus point.
I just want to say,
Judas.
I did not cheer when he scored, neither.
Yeah. Absolute Judas, man. I can't believe it. So you actually won again.
Yeah.
So I really do.
You need to step it up this week. You've got to give me a little bit of competition somewhere along the line, you know.
I look at him getting all cocky now as well. Jesus Christ, man. Now his hand's it's going to his head now. Right. So we're gonna have a look at the games for this week. By the way, that Newcastle player, I was trying to remember. It was, in the back of my mind, it's been bugging me. Callum Wilson.
Callum Wilson, that's
Callum
it.
Wilson.
Callum Wilson, everybody.
How can I forget Callum Wilson? He's
hopefully we'll be forgetting about him Saturday, because if he scores now, we'll be certainly
He's a very good player, by the way. That's what I mean. They have got threats.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of threats up front. Anyway, let's look at that. Start off with that game. Arsenal versus Newcastle. Predictions.
I'll go first. Is it me to go first? Yeah, you know what I mean? So,
the guy quickly dived in there go first.
I'm going Arsenal 2, Newcastle United 0. I back my team.
Yeah, you're brave now, aren't you? I went out like last week. All right, I'll go 3-0 then.
Oh.
I'll go 3-0. Arsenal 3-0. Should we do a bonus on that for a goal scorer?
It's up to you,
we'll do a bonus for a goal scorer. I'll go Aubameyang.
We're going Aubameyang. I'll go straight in Aubameyang. Smith Rowe. Okay. Right. Second game we're going to look at, because there are some very good games on this weekend, by the way. Is the big one,
of the weekend, which of course is Chelsea,
Man United.
Man United.
You go first.
Game, of course, is at Stamford Bridge.
I know what I'm going to
Chelsea are a very, unfortunately, it's very
powerful,
hard to say for me, but they, to me, are very, very good at the moment. I watched that game the other night.
Real deal,
against the Juventus.
They are the real
deal. They do look the real deal. I can't see nothing apart from a Chelsea win. I don't think United will necessarily get battered.
No.
Even Chelsea, I think they've only conceded 3 goals this season. And only one of them was a penalty. 3-1 Chelsea.
Ooh. I was going to go 2-1. Or 2-0. What do you reckon? 2-1 or 2-0? I think Man United might score. So let's go 2-1. Let's just go under you there on that one.
Okay. Manchester City versus West Ham.
Do you know what? I always go against West Ham, and I thought they would have beaten Wolves. So I'm going to go. I think City would be just slightly too strong from
City. Yeah, sorry.
Slightly too strong from 2-0. Man City.
Yeah, I think City will be too strong. West Ham playing Thursday night as well. City. What did you say? 2-0.
2-0. Yeah.
You rich. I think it could even be more.
Really?
Yeah. City are good at the moment, man. 3-1.
3-1.
Yeah, 3-1 City. And the final game we are going to predict is... let's go Leicester-Watford.
Ranieri going back to his old club. Where's that? Is that at Leicester?
At Leicester. Leicester ain't been on any form. Watford on a high after beating Manchester United. Ranieri going back, as you said. And I'll tell you what, Watford, they were very impressive last week. You see, when we beat Watford 1-0, everyone, it's only 1-0. I'm telling you, man, this Premier League, there's some good teams in there.
They destroyed Man United, by the way. Their front three that never got a kick against us.
And you know, I remember when they played us for little periods as well. You know what I mean? They were decent as well. I don't know. You know what? I think they could... but it's a must-win for Leicester. They're under a lot of pressure, Leicester. 2-1 Leicester.
That's what I was going to go.
2-1 Leicester.
I don't think Watford are as good away from home as they are at home. I know they beat Everton. So I would have gone 2-1. I think that's a good score. So I'm going to have to go 2-0. But
2-0 to Leicester.
Yeah, I think.
Ooh, the way they've been at the back, man.
Yeah, I know, but I think it's a difficult one because it's Thursday night.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Yeah, they got a game.
Yeah,
Thursday night game. Watford has got their feet up.
Feet up, yeah. No, I'm going to stick with it 2-0. I think Leicester have got to start hitting form somewhere along the line, surely.
2-0. All right. Well, listen, guys. Predict yours as well in the comments. Love to see what you guys predict. But Lee, thank you very much.
No worries, enjoyed that.
It's a free hit this weekend. It's not a free hit this weekend. It's definitely not a free hit. I think what Lee was saying is he's 100% right. We need to set the foundations now for the month of December.
Yeah.
We need to win this game. This is a must-win game. We've got to bounce back with a victory over Newcastle, and let's hope we do that. Don't forget you can download this podcast on all the normal formats. Don't forget to subscribe here to AFTV and subscribe to Lee's channel as well, called
Lee Judges TV.
Lee
Very
Judges
original.
TV. Make sure you check it out. Right, it's always a free hit over there. And we will catch you next week. Thank you.